Let's talk all about building your brand's credibility. This is a subject I'm so passionate about because so many clients that we work with are incredible and amazing. And it's such a pity that they don't really showcase that a lot of the time. They don't really use these cues that tell people that they can be trusted and that they're experts in their field. So I love nothing more than working with a client and helping them to kind of really put themselves forward in the best light possible. And so that's what we're going to be talking all about today, because perceptions are everything when you're getting started. And oftentimes we have all these amazing qualifications and things that we've done and people don't necessarily know about it. So let's jump right in. The first thing that's amazing to have for every brand and every website is testimonials and case studies. So we want to put these front and center. So on your homepage, it's great to have like a sliding banner, and also on any services pages, have a sliding banner of testimonials that, people that have had great experiences. So that's so important to have. Social proof makes your audience and your customers just feel safer in their decision to work with you. Now, if you are in e-commerce, a great thing to have for you would be to have reviews. So having those reviews active on your account so that people can leave you reviews and give feedback, and it just makes people feel safe. How many times do you ever go to a movie without having checked it on IMDb first for a score, or gone to a restaurant without checking first its rating on Google? I'm definitely guilty of all of those things. So that's something to really consider when you're creating a new brand or creating a new website. The next thing that you want to try and consider is, any logos of anyone that either you've worked with, it could be clients or publications that you've been featured on, and to really have this front and center as well on your homepage. So, have a banner on the page that has clients we've worked with all their logos, or places we've been featured, or partners, things like that, and have those logos, because that again gives that credibility. Now, if you're just getting started, don't worry too much about this. It's just great to have at the back of your mind that over the next year or two, or as you build your business, try to reach out to partners, do guest posts, reach out to different publications and offer to write an article and offer your expertise so that you can eventually build up to having those logos, apply for awards, all these things, but just have that as a goal over the next year or two. So don't put too much pressure on yourself just getting started, because it does take a bit of time to build this stuff up. However, really think about anything that you could use here, whether that's some big clients, whether that's accreditations that you have, charities that you support, or anything like that just shows that, it's basically showing that you're kind of an upholding member of the community, that you've worked with other businesses, that you kind of have that credibility. And it's also a really great visual cue, because you're not writing this in a paragraph, you just see the logos and it's an instantaneous visual cue to trust you. The next thing I would seriously consider is having a guarantee. And that's whether you're a product-based business or a service-based business, it doesn't matter. What can you do to give your audience that peace of mind working with you? So for us, we've got our Love Your Brand guarantee, which means that in the project timeframe that we're working on branding with clients, we have a guarantee that we will work with you and collaborate to make sure you have a brand and a logo you love, no matter if that takes 2 changes or 22, because we genuinely put our money where our mouth is. We want you to love your brand. Now, of course, that has to be practical too. That's why we have it, within the project timeframe. It's not like a never-ending thing that can go on for years. So don't be afraid of having guarantees. It can also be within reason. But it is so good to just give people just that kind of safety net and just feeling that they can take that risk, because they're taking a risk if they're buying from you. If they've never bought from you before, they are taking a risk and they're showing that trust. So how can you show that trust to them as well? So think about what guarantees you could have. Maybe it's a guarantee on your service for the first couple of weeks, or even if you don't want to do a money back guarantee, it could be that if we don't get you the results by X date, we'll work with you for free for another X number of days or weeks until we get there. So there's lots of different ways that you can really incorporate this. So really brainstorm what would work for you. The next thing is to make sure all your information is really easy to find. So have a phone number that's front and center in your menu if you want people to call you. In your contact page, make sure you include your address and email. You know, you really want to make people feel safe and that this is a legitimate business, that there's someone they can call, there's somewhere they can see where you're based, they know who to contact. That's all going to feed into the credibility of your site. And further to that is also just making sure to have some images of you or of your team somewhere on the site as well, so they know that, you know, you're a real human, they know the face behind the business, and they can also trust that as well. And lastly, it's to make sure you have blogs or, you know, some thought leadership on your website. So you want to establish that trust with them, that you know what you're doing, that you're the expert, you're the go-to, you've done this before and you really know what you're doing. And a great way to do that is through your content. Having blogs or videos available on your site that people can really see that you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. They can kind of almost like try before they buy. They can get a taste for what it's like to work with you through your content. Now, if you're an e-commerce business, the same thing applies, because they get a more of a feel for, you know, where the products might come from or the ethos behind the business. You know, they really get a feel for who you are as a business in itself. So make sure that you also apply that principle even if you're in e-com. So I hope these tips have helped. They really do make a massive, massive difference. So make sure you try and incorporate as many as you possibly can. And as always, if you have any questions, just let me know.